All right. Good afternoon, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, hold, and we're screwing the hedgy. Today, I'd like to welcome to the show my special guest, Redirectrix, who is one of the many excellent moderators from the subreddit AMC Stock. Welcome to the show, Redirectrix.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here. I'm excited to talk today. So thank you.
Do you mind if I call you Ready?
Yeah, that's just fine.
All right, cool. Well, I want to start off with our normal tradition on my channel by opening with a beer and a toasting to the Power Hour. Today, I'd like to toast by saying that the entire ape community has this subreddit AMC Stock to thank for providing to our community. It's a place where apes can flourish with the DD and the memes, and it's basically just a general safe haven for us. So to you guys, because you're the background and the bone, you're the support that we have that we don't see, that's constantly working in our favor. So cheers to you.
Hey, thank you. I'll drink to that. Here, I'll make the noise for you. Discord's gonna suppress it out, so.
All right. Let's see here. First off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just what you're willing, of course, to disclose.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I can't disclose too much, but let's see. What do I want to tell you about myself? I can tell you, that as far as my job goes, I work for some very kind and generous people in a small, growing, family-owned business. It's actually part of the reason I started to follow the AMC story. Actually, I mean, the opportunities that I've been given here have been beyond amazing, and it would mean the world to me and to them to invest significantly in their business after things are all said and done. I can tell you, I grew up in the Midwest U.S. I went to a tech college to work on cars, which was an awesome experience. Um, as an individual, I'm generally very driven, creative, mechanically inclined, and what else? I don't know. I tend to seek out lots of responsibility in my work life, so I guess it's no surprise that I'm here with you today and that I've been so involved in being a mod in AMC stock. So yeah, there you go.
That's awesome, man. It's funny you should say car tech, and the reason I say that is because just today I made an analogy about what's happening with our volume. With the volume
Yeah.
decreasing the way that it is right now, I likened it to a four-stroke engine where you have the suck, squeeze, bang, blow. And and I said
Perfect.
we're in the squeeze portion of that. We're squeezing all the combustible fuel along with the air. Everything's getting squeezed in this chamber, and the next step after that, obviously, is the bang. So I
It's getting
really,
ready, man. It's getting ready.
yeah, I really, I know it's discouraging to a lot of people to see volume kind of decreasing in the stock, but I want to tell everybody, don't panic. Volume it's the squeeze portion. So yeah, just anyways, no dates, not setting dates, just saying, it's looking good. So,
Yeah. Well,
oh, go ahead.
I mean, that's been the story for since January. Don't panic. Just wait.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, are you an AMC ape? And if so, how did you find your way into buying AMC and becoming a part of the ape movement?
Yeah, no, yeah, I am. I mean, in January, everybody saw the GME run up and thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I get in on that? Even before I knew what was going on with it. There was a lot of the AMC is the next GME talk, and so before I knew anything about it, I bought in, just hoping it was true. And then I started learning about the market, of course, after I already bought in. It's crazy to me how much I've learned just this past year. I think everyone kind of has that common experience. But when I finally found the subreddit r/AMC stock, I don't know, man. I just kind of felt at home there. I started reading stories of people who were impacted by previous market crashes. Um, and I don't know, hearing those personal stories of people's worlds just coming crashing down to no fault of their own, things like 2008, and then learning that this time around, there might actually be something that we could do about it was immensely powerful to me. I honestly, I've shed more tears than I'd like to admit just reading some of the heartfelt stories of people here and what this could potentially mean to them. The the camaraderie and support I see these people show each other every day is what drew me in the most, and really it's what keeps me here today.
Yeah, totally. When you said bring tears to your eyes, it made me think back to there was a guy that was in his truck. It sounded like he was like an electrician or some type of home building, and he was driving in
Yeah.
the truck, and he posted something on there about how, like, he's a part of the family, and man, I'll tell you what, that got me right in the feelers.
Yep.
That post, man, it really got me. I was like, yeah, man, I'm holding for you. But yeah, I feel the sentiment that I have. I feel it completely the same way that you've expressed. But
Yeah, I think I know what video you're talking about. And yeah, I felt the same exact way. We've seen pictures, and it's the internet, you got to kind of take things with a grain of salt, but I'm sure we've all seen pictures of people having a meal in their car, saying all my extra money right now is going towards AMC, it's going towards the stock market, and that's what I hope will help me to get out of this rut that I'm in my life. And yeah, we've all been there, and it's hard to see, it's hard to watch, but I really wish the best for those people who are sacrificing so much and who are having such a hard time in life and just hoping to catch a break. And I hope for me and for everybody else that this is that break that they're gonna get, and I know in my heart that it's gonna be.
yeah, same here.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you become a moderator for AMC Stock? Like it sounds like you kind of joined the community first, and then um, was there like a specific time frame that you became a moderator?
Yeah, so I joined the community in January and started to read through it. About a month later, the mod team at the time uh, put out a put out a post saying, "Hey, we're looking for mods," and I just had felt so strongly about the community that I wrote into Sagan, and so we had some really good chats, and so that was about 8 months ago that I became a mod, and I never looked back, man.
For those
Yeah,
of you who
I
don't know,
do.
oh, good,
Mm.
go ahead. I just wanted to mention that Sagan.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, Sagan's the founder, or at least one of the founders of AMC Stock.
oh, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh, no, no. I just wanted
Only
to
other
point
thing I was
out.
gonna say. Yeah, thank you. The only other thing I was gonna say is I do moderate a couple other subs, but they're super super small. So AMC stock tends to be 99% of my focus as far as modding goes.
Okay. So, I mean, this is kind of like a bonus question here, I guess. Like, it, when you say, like, is this like, does it feel like a full time job to you to moderate?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely can't I like all the other mods, we have full-time jobs. Some of us are mothers, fathers, we've got other obligations. So, we can't put, you know, 40 hours plus a week into it, but with how heavily we are, with how heavily involved we are in things, it does often feel like a full-time deal. Yeah.
Well, I think, part of the reason that I wanted to have this interview is, I think it's really important for me to point out to everybody that the apes are real, right? They're not just fake people behind keyboards somewhere. They're real people,
Yeah.
and that they have lives, and that they have backgrounds, and that we've all kind of shared in these experiences all together. And so it's important for us to know that we have a community who's a real community out there, and not just these fake beings that we type to, and so I'm glad that you came and did this interview, and I appreciate it. What are your plans after the
Yeah,
MOASS?
thank you, man.
Do you have plans?
Ooh, the lottery question. The If you won the lottery, what would you do? I think this is a good question because I think we've all probably thought of that. What would I do if I won the Powerball or something like that?
Right, right.
Um, but it's different this time to me because usually with if you won the lottery, what would you do? People will just talk about all the fun things that they would do because it's impossible. You're not going to win the lottery, but because there's actually reality, there's math in this. I think a lot of us have probably given a lot more realistic thought to what we do. Um, and boring stuff first, and this is financial advice that I can probably give, is to get a lawyer, to interview a lawyer, and
Mm,
interview a financial advisor that'll work for you and help you to make the best investment decisions that you can. So, I mean, that's first and foremost, protect your money, invest it properly, budget it properly. Um, After that, though, honestly, I'm gonna let it. I'd probably let it sit for a few months
mm,
because I don't know what kind of excitement everybody's going to have surrounding this whole thing, right? And I think it's probably important to give a few months to not touch any of it, just to get that initial excitement out of the door, so you don't do something stupid with it.
mm,
Um, yeah, and then I mean, I was talking about the business that I work for and just how much it would mean to me to be able to invest in it. And so that would be my next biggest thing. I mean, the opportunities that these people have given me are I don't have really words for. So to help them and their family succeed and to help that business succeed would be the most important thing to me. But I mean, that's not to say I'm not going to buy some cool cars and stuff. I think we've all got those things, those cool, impossible things we never thought we'd be able to afford, the Lambos and the vacations and whatever else. Um, yeah, I guess to me also that's just one of those things. Since it's been this impossible idea in so many people's heads, being a millionaire, having more money than you know what to do with. I would bet you that most of us would surprise ourselves with how we treat that money because we've never experienced it.
mm.
I think it'll be a definitely a learning experience for all of us.
I agree. I've had people ask me, like, what am I going to do with this channel after the MOASS?
Yeah,
And I honestly said nothing. That was my first
yeah,
response because after the MOASS, I really don't think that stocks is not something that I really wanted to do. But I started thinking about it a little more in depth, and I was like, what is something that I could do positively because I wanted to help the community. That's the whole reason why I do 9-hour streams a full day. I wanted a place where somebody could come, much like AMC Stock, where people could come and see what's happening live at the moment to their favorite stock, right? And
yeah. I think
so
that's awesome.
yeah, and so and we're going to get into this. I'm going to ask you actually some questions about the future of AMC Stock, Reddit subreddit AMC Stock. But for
Okay, sure thing.
me,
Yeah.
yeah, for me it was more about if there was a future to this channel, I think it would be really cool to like tour the United States and visit apes places like kind of like what you're talking about. You're talking about putting some of the money and investing into the business. There's going to be a lot of hurting businesses when the stock market crashes. I'm of the personal belief
Yeah.
the market will probably crash before AMC rips. And for you to be investing into a company that you believe in because you work for them is you helping your community. And for me
Mhm.
to go out and like interview apes who are helping their communities would be like, I think that's the only thing I could possibly think of that how I would want to continue this channel because it has nothing to do about stocks. I could care less about stocks after this. But I
Mhm.
think I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, no, I agree. It'll be about helping the people around you, and especially like you're saying, if there's a big market crash that kind of is the catalyst for this thing, you are going to have people who lose their jobs, who start to have a hard time paying for their house payment or their car payment. And to be able to easily say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about that car payment. I saw a post today on AMC stock of someone talking about just this. They said that's what I'd love to do is help the people in my community who might be hurt by this market crash that so many people are thinking might happen. And I think that's perfect. I think that's awesome because this I mean what's this whole movement based on? Yeah, we all want to make a ton of money. That's fun. That's great.
yeah.
But what good is it
The world's burning
we
around you.
act like, yeah, what good is it if we're, I think the post said if I'm driving down in my Lambo, windows rolled down, and I'm watching people struggle,
Yeah.
that's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Well, it's great to get to know you a little bit better, Reddy. Thanks for sharing your history and giving us a chance to get to know like who you are as a person. One of the most
Thank you.
important things I think for us to remember is that like I said, there's real people out there behind these keyboards. So let me ask you a few questions a little bit more about specifically being a moderator. What are some of your
Sure.
biggest struggles besides being swamped, which I'm sure you are, when acting as a moderator for this community for AMC Stock?
Oh, being swamped. Yeah, there's never there's always something to do, that's for sure. There's always a message to answer, reports to be looked at. It's definitely hard to catch up, but I mean, I think the hardest thing for me personally is that I don't have the free time that I'd like to have to moderate. I think to all of us on the mod team, this community means the world to us, and we'd all love to uh, have it be a full-time job and be able to actually be on here throughout the day. Like I said, we're mothers, fathers, we have jobs, and so that's kind of hard is just to know that there is more that we could do, but we just don't have the time to.
Mm,
I mean, our goal has always been to provide a positive, welcoming community for individual investors to discuss AMC, right? And so with that, one of the hard things is rules have to be put in place at some point, understandably, and that can be upsetting to some people, right? It can create a tension, and it's just a constant balancing act, and it's like the karma limits, right? That's also a constant balancing act. We want to raise it to raise quality in posts, keep out shills, that sort of thing. But then we're not allowing a lot of these new investors, new redditors to post, and that's really hard to watch. I get messages every single day of people saying, "Hey, I'm an AMC Ape. I've held since January. I really want to be able to communicate with everybody here, but my karma's too low." And it's always so hard. I have to say, I'm so sorry that there isn't anything that I can do about that. I can't we can't bypass the karma limits on Reddit, and so I think that's the other hard thing is just knowing that there are a lot of people out there that want to be involved, but they can't.
hmm Yeah, so you're torn
Yeah.
between protecting the community but wanting it to grow as well. Do you have
Yeah.
any do you
Yeah.
have any
Exactly.
yeah, do you have any suggestions to people? I know like somebody asked me, they said, "Well, how do I get karma?" For somebody who's been on Reddit for a long time, obviously it's really easy to figure out how to get karma. But there are new people out there who don't legitimately know how to get karma. What would be and I know I'm probably borderline on the edge here, but how would you
Okay,
recommend to
fine.
somebody how they would get karma?
So, I have to be a little bit tactful about my answer here,
No,
but
no, no, absolutely. I totally
I wouldn't
understand.
say I wouldn't say I can give any specific advice on on how to do that, but I mean a good Google search will do you well. If you just start to Google, hey, how do I raise my karma on Reddit? I'm sure you'll see plenty of other people's advice and opinions. So that's what I would say to do, because people ask me that all the time too. Oh, well, if my karma's too low, how do I raise it? What do I do? Um, and I'm sure we'll talk more on this later, but that's one of those things I kind of have to stay neutral about. I can't direct a user to post specific things on specific subreddits.
Mhm.
It's unfortunately you're kind of on your own there, but plenty of people have discussed it, talked about it in other forums. So yeah, I'd encourage people to just do a Google search and see what other people have to say about it.
I guess I'll just throw it out there. I know when
Sure.
I had I had something that was given to me from it was a picture of a really old picture of like from the 70s, and I
Okay.
posted on like old school cool. And I got like, I mean, I thought the picture was just kind of bleh, but I
Yeah.
ended up getting like a couple hundred karma out of it, and I was like, wow, that was kind of interesting. So, sometimes it's just a matter of just posting stuff. Really just gets you karma. So the more you post, the more karma you're gonna likely run into.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, one thing too is I mean you'll find subreddits that their point that the point of them existing is for everybody in the community to help each other give up votes and give comments and stuff. But like you're saying, I think one of the best ways to do it is just to be genuine. Like think about what you're passionate about and what you'd like to share with the world, and find the right subreddit where you can share those things, because then you're not just, aimlessly grinding for karma, which is boring and sometimes frowned upon anyway by the rest of the Reddit community. But you're also having fun in the process. You're sharing things that you love and talking to other Redditors about the things that they love, and so honestly, I think that's the way to go. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, do you frequent the sub AMC stock for pleasure, or is it strictly work?
Yeah, both. I mean, a lot of moderating is just looking at posts and comments, and so there's by no means I how do I word that? Man, you ever have a brain fart that just lasts for way too long?
Not a problem.
That's me right now.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I'll scroll through just for fun, and I mean, as a mod, I'm also looking for rule breaks and situations where I need to get involved, but that doesn't mean that I can't have fun scrolling through. I think the only disappointing thing about it is a lot of the time, I'll want to comment on something or share something, and a lot of the time, as a mod team, we'll decide we shouldn't, because we try to stay kind of neutral and out of it. But yeah, no, definitely both.
that would be so hard for me. I mean, I don't know if I could be neutral. I'm so opinionated. I feel like I have to comment on everything. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
hats off to you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Well, I guess I was gonna say, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, the mod team's doing what they're doing, and you're doing what you're doing. We all have our kind of niche, the specific things that we're involved in, and at some point, I just decided that it was more important for me to maybe help guide the community rather than share my opinion.
Hmm.
But we all have our own thing.
That takes a level of maturity. I'm 45 years
Well,
old.
thank you.
I may not be there yet.
Hey, you
uh,
may never be there, and that's just fine, man. That's just fine.
so what do you have a favorite kind of post like like some people prefer memes over like hardcore DD or something like that. Do you have like a favorite particular type of post?
Yeah, honestly, I just like hearing people's stories most of all. Like I enjoy memes and I always appreciate reading good in-depth due diligence, but I just like hearing people's stories, what's important to them, why they're here, why they're supporting the other apes, and I like hearing about people's families and their struggles and what they're going through because it just it just sheds light on the fact, like you were saying this earlier, these are real people behind the keyboards typing. They've got their own lives and struggles and things they love. And so that's what I like to hear the most. It keeps the human in it for me.
Hmm. I had a couple run-ins with I'm sure probably everybody has. I've had a couple run-ins with a couple different redditors, and I won't say any names or
Mm.
anything like that, but I want to give this example of this one meme. I mean, I really love the DD and the stories like you do, but every once in a while you run across a meme that just makes you laugh harder than you've ever laughed your entire life. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
say the poster's name, but it was a picture of Citadel with the Spirit Halloween banner, and they said probably nothing, and I couldn't stop laughing. I just thought that was
Oh, that's
hilarious.
good.
But
No, that is a good one. As we're talking, I'm going through the meme flares trying to look for some of my favorite ones, but if I find one that I just need to share, I'll let you know, but keep going.
do you ever create posts? And I don't think I want to ask you. Well, do you ever create posts?
No, I mean I created one post when we hit 400,000 members. I thought it was important just to say something about it, but like I've been touching on this neutrality thing, and I mean we can get into it more now. A lot of the time, I want to say stuff. I want to be involved. I want to make posts, and I'm sure a lot of the mod team feels the same. But in the end, I mean, this isn't like we're here to moderate. We're not here to share our opinion. And if the mod team says, if any of us say, hey, I've got this harsh opinion about this particular subject, it kind of sets a precedent for the mod team and what we think and maybe what agenda we might have, but we try our best to not have an agenda. We try to treat every opinion the same. I mean, whether you're whatever your political, religious views are, whether you're GME, AMC, or whatever else. I mean, as long as you're within the rules of the community, it's welcome. And so I kind of feel like a lot of the time if I share my opinion, it could make people feel like they're not welcome, and
Mm,
that's that's the complete opposite of what we want. So no, I don't make posts, but I'd like to sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. Do you have a favorite flair?
Oh, yeah, yeah. My favorite flare tends to be the why I hold flare. Like we were talking about this earlier. That's generally the most commonly used flare that people will use to kind of tell their story.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, it's in the title why I hold, why are you here? What's important to you that this money in this community is doing for you? Um, yeah. I wish we implemented it earlier. It's still a fairly recent flare compared to the age of the entire community, and I'm just happy. I'm happy that we threw it in, man.
Yeah. One of my admins actually asked a really good question. I'm gonna point this out just because it falls perfectly in line with where we're gonna be at later in the interview. So I will get back to that question,
Sure.
Duncan. Just so you know, I just want to make sure he knows that we're gonna get to it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so actually, this might actually be a great time. I know it's probably a touchy subject, but can you give some insight into how you control shill accounts? For example, the required karma, like you talked about earlier, that's needed to post. I know this topic comes up quite a bit. I know that when you had posted
Yeah.
about this interview, people were saying, "Please raise it," and then there was actually a guy that came in there and said, "No, please don't raise it. I just became able to,
Yeah.
able to start posting."
Yeah. I mean, as we were talking earlier, it's just a constant battle that can't be won. Yeah, you've got a bunch of people saying raise the karma, a bunch of people saying no, lower the karma, or keep it where it is, please. I've only been able to comment for the last 2 days. If you change it now, it'll feel like it was all for nothing, all this work. But I mean, we continue to work on ideas that might allow more people to post, but still lessen the amount of disruptive content at the same time. We're always open to new ideas, assistance on the matter. But really, I mean, the karma thing is the biggest tool that we have, and unfortunately, we can't whitelist anybody and say, "Hey, I understand your karma is too low, but yes, I see that you've been an ape since January, so here I'll put you on the whitelist, and now you can post." It's just not how it works.
Hmm.
Um,
That's unfortunate.
so yeah, I'll just say that. I mean, we continue to talk about it every week and look for new ideas from people. So I guess if if any of you out there listening do have great ideas for how we might allow more people to post but remove disruptive content, I mean, message me Redirectrix on the subreddit and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, that kind of takes away from my second question to that, but that's okay
Mm,
because I guess just the one thing that I want to say is that I had a gentleman who's part of my stream who goes by Mark Ping as his Reddit username, and I'm throwing him under the bus by calling him out here, but he submitted us an article that he asked me to post for him because he didn't have enough karma.
yeah,
So, and I posted it because everything that I talk about on my channel is actually there's a couple key things that I talk about that a lot of people don't talk about. But in this article it was written in like 2014. It talks about everything that we're experiencing right now. It's like somebody was writing from the past to tell us warn us what was going to happen in the future, and it ended up getting like
interesting.
1,300 karma likes, and I was sitting there thinking to myself like I was just wishing I could like donate the karma to him somehow. I was like, man, I just wish I could donate karma to this guy. Because I had to post it for him.
Oh, shoot, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
No, that's too
it is
bad.
it is what it is. I know it is what it is, and the DD is still out there. But I want to stress to everybody that I'm sure that if you don't have enough karma, you can find somebody who does. So
Yep.
get that DD out there because I mean, AMC stock is probably hands down one of the best places you can go for DD for AMC stock. I honestly can't think of anybody anywhere else or anybody else that you can get better DD from. So don't
No, I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
no, just because you have low karma doesn't mean that you should stop. Still fight to try and get your information out there for everybody to see because it's important. Everybody's information is important. Don't ever think that it's not. So, anyways, I'm
Yeah,
off
no,
my.
everybody's got something to say, and I mean, I've definitely had messages quite a few times where someone says, "Hey, I found this thing, and I think it's really important. I think people should know. Will you post it for me?" And I always have to say no because I'm like, I'm a mod. I can't I can't post this for you.
Mm,
But there have been a few times where I'll direct a user to direct message somebody in the community, and an ape in the community that I trust, that I know does well and has good intentions, and just have them, like you're saying, just have them message somebody else to post on their behalf.
hmm
And I hope that those people have been able to contact those users and get their DD posted. But yeah, it sucks, man. It's
Yeah.
hard to watch. It's hard to tell people no.
But I understand that it's important to keep out the shills, though. So I understand why it is that you guys are doing what you're doing, and I know that actually, you probably won't remember this, but you and I actually had a conversation a really long time ago. I sent you a message about how many shill people we were seeing with
Yeah.
age, the dates of the posts. Everybody who had those accounts that were shill accounts were right around the age of when the squeeze happened. I said, why don't you guys just stop people from posting who have accounts that are only so many days old. And you guys actually ended up coming up with a flair thing, and I thought that was cool. So, I mean, you have to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, we did implement the 60-day rule. Your account's got to be at least 60 days old. That one actually has probably helped more than more than the karma limits, honestly, because it keeps people from making an account because they're mad, and immediately being able to build their karma in a day if they're good at it, and post right away, brigade the sub, that sort of thing. So,
Mm. Let's go ahead and do Duncan's. Are you willing to answer Duncan's question? Can you see it there?
let's see. Is
It's
it Z Duncan Z? So the toxicity that some of the other subs experience, are you actively doing something to prevent this, or is the AMC community inherently more welcoming slash less toxic? That is a good question. I mean, I'm assuming you're kind of talking about there's always some sort of infighting between GME and AMC subreddits like Super Stonk and whatnot. I mean, honestly, one of the things I'd like to say about that is I'm willing to bet you that it's a really small portion of people who tend to be toxic. They just tend to be the loudest out of the group. But I mean, one of the things, gosh, let me think about that for a sec, man. I mean, it's in our sub rules, insults for financial decisions sort of thing. No matter what ticker you're into, just don't insult other people with it. And so we've been, especially lately, pretty strict about that, about say jokes that might demean Super Stonk or GME. So mostly, I mean, what we're doing is just removing that content and banning people who continue to post content like that. And then, I mean, one of the other things that I try to do is just talk to people and see if I can get some positivity out of it, instead of the fighting that tends to happen.
yeah,
But that's just one of those other constant battles. We can't stop everybody from hating on one stock or the other, or one community or the other. So I usually kind of implore other users to instead of fighting it, just let us know, that let the mod team know so that we can handle it, and get it out of there.
So what's your craziest moderator story? Like, what's the craziest thing you've had to deal
Hmm.
with?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, Honestly, I mean, the craziest thing to me, and this is going to be a little bit of a cop out, I'm sorry, but the craziest thing to me, man, is just that the fact that I have the opportunity to be here. I'm thankful every day to be so involved. One kind of, maybe you think it's crazy, maybe not, but one crazy thing to me, that happened just a few months ago, was that we kind of realized as this community was growing, that just by being mods of the subreddit, we as a group kind of started to be afraid that we could potentially be held personally liable, should some of these large companies, big money interests, hedge funds, what have you, be damaged in any way for MOASS. And I never really thought I'd be afraid of that. It was a really weird day when it kind of hit me like, oh, I could be personally affected by this, even if I'm just modding the community.
Hmm.
And so ultimately, we decided that this community, because I mean, it made me question if it was worth the risk to be here. I mean, we've never been threatened with lawsuits or anything like that, but it's always been in the back of my mind that it could happen one day. And so ultimately, we decided that this community was far more important than any threat or potential lawsuit that might come our way. So I went ahead and started working on a comprehensive, legally binding disclaimer for the subreddit, had it reviewed, edited by a legal professional. And honestly, the fact that we felt as a team that we needed that to happen to protect us and to protect the people in the community, that's just insane to me. When I became a mod, I did not think that I would have to be that involved.
At
Yeah,
one
but I mean, crazy things happen here. Sorry, I'll let you go. I'm about to go on to another topic.
Well, I'm just it makes me kind of wonder, like, when do I need to start? You got me thinking, like, when do I need to start worrying about that?
Shoot.
I mean, it's crossed my mind on a couple occasions, but never like, I mean, you got me thinking here. That is, oh man, you're getting in my mind. I'm not getting in yours.
Oh shoot. Oh
Okay.
shoot. Well, I mean, it's just something. I think it's something you deal with as a YouTuber, as a moderator. You're at least going to get a lot of backfire. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna have people hate you. You're gonna have people messaging you mad and angry, and you might get threats. And we were willing to deal with that, and we still do every day. But yeah, it kind of just became this bigger question of could we personally be hurt by this? Could someone potentially come after our money after things are said and done because we may have influenced the stock price?
Hmm.
And that's one of the other things, the other reasons why we tend to stay so out of it and so neutral about these things, because ultimately, I mean, we've got this some sort of power and control over what happens on the subreddit. And so, if it can be construed that certain things that we've done were to pump the stock or something, I mean, that would be, God, I don't even want to think about the shit show. So that's why we tend to stay neutral too, is just based off of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more specifically about the subreddit AMC Stock. Do you know the history behind the creation of AMC Stock? I guess specifically, like, have you had the opportunity to talk to Sagan Saga or DJ Shreds as a moderator, like group? Do you guys frequently talk? Like, for example, like me and my YouTube crew, like my admins, sometimes we have just for fun, just to throw this out there, for fun every day
Hmm.
we have four of us do price predictions on what the price is going to close at the end of the day, and
Yeah, awesome, fun.
yeah, it's just strictly for fun. It's not like anything serious or anything like that. We bet beers and ice cream on it, but um,
Awesome.
more for us, it's just trying to stay sharp and keeping us sharp and making sure that we're watching what's happening with the stock. But with you guys, are you guys frequently communicating together, or is it kind of one of those things where it's like, welcome to, thanks for being a moderator, and now go do your thing.
So yeah, no, good question. I actually love that you asked this. I'll start from the beginning as far as the creation of AMC. I mean, as far as I understand it, Sagan Saga saw the opportunity to try to build a supportive and fair community and just took up the mantle. Obviously, it's grown incredibly quickly, but I'm sure he didn't know just how large we would get, and how much work it would ultimately require. But still, he has stuck with it, and we're all very, very happy to have him on our team. But yeah, no, Sagan and DJ are very active. We've got a mod Discord that we all talk in, and I hear from them both every day. He and DJ have been very involved, have communicated with us clearly, and honestly, they're great leaders to have, man. They continue to push for quality, but they also know that we have complicated lives outside of this. Um, our top mods, those two, consistently show their care towards the rest of the team by encouraging breaks, speaking with us individually just to make sure we're okay. Um, but
That's
yeah, as
awesome.
far as the whole team goes, I mean, we do talk every day in our Discord. Some of us are more or less active in the Discord, but there is always chatter happening throughout the day. We do have official meetings here and there where we try to get all of the mods to be in a group at once to talk about some of the bigger changes and maybe some of the bigger issues we're having in the sub, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Um, but outside of those meetings, I mean I see chatter all day. Just we'll share posts and comments with each other. Hey, do you think this should be removed? Is this within the rules? We're always asking each other for our opinions to try to make sure we have the sub straight. But yeah, I mean we're also sharing memes, new ideas every day of the week. I don't think there's a single day over the past 6 months that we have not communicated with each other, and that has been amazing. I mean, it's been awesome to have a mod team like that that's willing to spend at least some amount of time every single day uh, speaking with each other. And it just I don't know, man. I love this group of mods. They all of them show support and empathy towards one another consistently. We after a few months of us being all on the mod team, we kind of had this heart to heart talk with each other where we got to openly share with each other all of our personal goals, parts of our work and personal lives. We've spoken about our families, our communities, the things we love, and I really never imagined that I'd find such great people and great friends when I became a mod. I don't know. I can't really put it into words how much I appreciate them. So
Makes me want
yeah,
to be a part of your
thank you.
club, man.
Yeah, no, so thank you. It means a lot
Yeah,
that you'd ask about the team.
yeah,
We often want to be more personally involved in the community, but like I'm saying with the neutrality thing, since one of our goals is to stay reasonably neutral, that usually means we watch from the sidelines and don't get to be heavily personally involved. So opportunities like this to talk about it mean a lot to us, because I think it helps. I'm hoping at least that it helps to show the people of the community that we are here for them. We're just not very loud.
right, right. I've never felt like you guys aren't there for us, so I'm
Good.
glad.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
So you mentioned the Discord, and I do have a question that kind of goes with that, so I'm going to go ahead and ask it now. But if
Sure.
we, one time I had, I'm pretty sure it was actually Duncan, one of my moderators, came on and he goes, "Hey, y'all having problems with AMC or with Reddit right now. He couldn't get onto the AMC stock,
Mhm.
and so I went on there and I said, "Hey guys, oh, you know what? It looks like it's down." And we basically confirmed right there on the spot that it was down. That's probably going to happen in the future if we lose communication with the community due to nefarious reasons. Where do you suggest we go?
Yeah, no, good question, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. So we do have, there's only a couple thousand people in it at the moment. I say only a couple thousand, but I'm comparing it to the size of the subreddit. But we do have a Discord that anyone can join. All you have to do is read the rules and send an react to the like send an emoji to that little rules message. And so the easiest place right now to get there is if you just go to AMC Stock, the second post in there, which is actually the post about this interview. I did leave a direct link to the Discord, so I'd suggest people at least hop in there, um, and have it available to them, because that Discord, should anything happen with the subreddit, if it's ever taken down or anything like that, that'll be the place where we'll announce things. We can still talk about things, and we actually have a separate mod team um, that will manage the Discord, and they are also just a great group of mods. So yeah, I would suggest the Discord. And I mean, I know people people talk about the Gangnam Style YouTube page, and I'm sure some of the GME hardcore only guys are going to be mad about me saying that. So I won't encourage it. I won't encourage it. But it is something that people talk about, is going on to the Gangnam Style YouTube comments section. Don't know how well that really works, but it's something I've seen people do when we've had some outages. So
That's actually what we did. We went to Gangnam Style and started seeing that people were actually posting saying Reddit was down. So we confirmed everything. So yeah, but I think that um, Discord channel would probably be the first place that I should go to, because, in all honesty, that's the heart of the community. And just going to like I think a third choice would probably be Gangnam Style, if anything. So I like that. It's cool.
that's how I see it in my mind. That's how I'm gonna treat it if anything happens. But I mean, like I was saying before about the disclaimer, I mean that was one of the biggest reasons that we wrote that and took so much care in writing it and making sure that it covered all of our bases, because I mean, in a nutshell, that disclaimer basically says if somebody posts something, that's their deal. That's that user's responsibility if they post something. So if it's out of line, if it's against the law, something like that, it's not on the community, and it's not on the mod team. It's not on any of the users. So we're kind of hoping that if anyone in the future is to threaten to take the sub down, or to try to do it, that disclaimer will protect us quite a bit from that.
Hmm. I only remember hearing about this, and I was briefly involved with Wall Street Bets when it was supposedly taken over or infiltrated by new
Mhm.
ownership. I'm not sure the story exactly behind it, or if it's even factual. But it was regarding the original founders and maybe some of the moderators possibly getting money to do, like, it was either like a movie or book or something. I don't know what it was exactly, but
Mhm.
anyways, exchange ownership of the supposedly changed to new ownership to some nefarious group out there. And so I guess my question to
Gotcha.
you is, are you afraid that anything like that could happen to AMC stock in the future?
Oh, oh, no, not at all. Not at all. No, I'm 100% confident in all of our mods, our top mods, to continue to act in the best interest of the community. I mean, like we talked about earlier, I may be a mod, but I'm also an ape, and that goes for, I won't name drop anyone, but that goes for the mod team as well. I mean, we're here to see this thing through, man, and we're here to support the subreddit long after any squeeze. And I really, same here. I don't really know the whole story with what happened with WSB, whether any of that stuff is true or not. I can't verify it. But what I do know is that this group of mods has an impressive, seriously, impressive sense of community and loyalty, and I trust them wholeheartedly.
Cool, man. That makes me feel good. Do you know what the long
Good.
term
I'm
plans
glad.
are? Yeah, man, that's awesome. I like it. Do you know what the long term plans are for this community once the squeeze has run its course?
I can tell you that I can at least tell you that we won't be leaving. I mean, for now, we're focusing on the community as it sits today, and we'll roll with the punches as they come. I mean, after all, we don't set dates, right? So it's kind of hard to plan for the future of it when we don't know when that post MOASS will happen.
Hmm.
But I have no doubt that you and I can discuss the future of AMC stock when the time comes.
That's cool, man. What do you think of the supposed GME versus AMC crap? I know we kind of
Oh
discussed
gosh.
that a little. We kind of already discussed that a little bit with what Duncan had mentioned a little bit, I think. But what do you know? What do you make of that? What do you? I mean, I personally myself think it's a bunch of poo poo. It's
I love it.
it's yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like like we're all apes here. I owned 2 shares of. That's the very first thing I bought when I got into this was GME.
Oh
I
yeah.
bought 2 shares of GME on January 28th. So
Nice. Yeah.
I consider myself an ape. I wouldn't say an OG ape, but I consider
Mhm.
myself an ape from GME. And so what's the deal here? Like, what's the deal with like the whole what is this stuff?
Yeah, that's something that definitely comes up a lot that we're constantly trying to fight is to keep that crap out of it. I mean, personally, um, how do I want to word this? I support anyone, any ape who does their DD and invests in the market, hoping to better their own lives and the lives of those around them. You know, whatever it is that they're investing in. I do actually own both GME and AMC, though I do keep 90% or higher of my portfolio AMC. But I mean, to me, the bottom line is we're all just here trying to figure out what in the world the market will do and what entities are involved, what the best investment strategy will be for us personally. And we all end up making the decision that we really think is best. And I don't think you can knock that, no matter what. I don't even want to call them sides because I don't see it as sides. I don't see it as AMC versus GME. It's we're in this together, and you're gonna figure out what's the best decision for you, what you think is right. So I don't really see a point in the fighting. I know Super Stonk comes on is is on topic pretty often. People being mad at each other between the two subreddits. But honestly, man, I I browse Super Stonk too pretty often. And those dudes write some truly amazing DD, let me tell you. It's very obvious that their mod team is also incredibly dedicated to nurture quality content for just the GME related stuff.
I just
Um,
I had somebody on the Reddit show today. They asked me,
mm,
I'm actually going to pull up the order book level 2 page. In the middle of the page here, this came from Super. I'm pretty no, actually, this may have came from AMC Stock, but I know there's been several times where I've actually directed people to AMC Stock. I know one of them the other day was like an exiting strategy. So and so this whole division stuff and Fairy Hammer who just came on or Hammer, I can't read it. It's basically said the FUD regarding the apparent division. I agree. I agree with that. This
yeah.
is total FUD. Like we're all apes here. We're all one community. And I think that they try to. I think when I say they, I'm probably talking about shills. But I think
Mhm.
they try to drive a wedge in between us to make us feel like there's some kind of like us versus them issue going on when it's just a bunch of crap. There's nothing there. It's just
Yeah,
nothing.
well, I mean, what's the thing that people continue to kind of be aware of and talk about is that big money power wants us to fight. They want us to fight each other because if we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them, right?
Right.
And I think there's valuable information everywhere. And so, in my opinion, even if you're 100% AMC or you're 100% GME and you're not going to change that in your portfolio, I think to shut yourself out from the other half of the DD that's happening is is a disservice. Regardless of what you're investing in. I think a lot of the time people arguing and fighting, like I kind of mentioned the earlier, are the minority. I don't think they represent either community as a whole. You'll hear both the AMC community and the Super Stomp community saying, "Yeah, screw those guys that are trying to divide us. That doesn't represent us."
No, not at all.
And yeah, I think they're louder than the rest, really. And this movement to me, I don't think it's really about what stock you invest in. I think it's the underlying principle that we all know something here is very wrong. And, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, I don't know, have taken it upon themselves to figure out as much as they can so that maybe we can have a chance to change things for the better, you know?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
you're
So
inspiring
I
me.
wish it would stop. I catch myself getting kind of angry about it because it's just I get sick of it, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's change. Let's kind of veer away from that. Let's say, what's possibly
Sure.
one of the most uplifting things you've ever seen come from this community.
Oh, I love it. I love the Switch. To me, it's not just one thing. It's just what I read every day. I mean, there is an incredibly widespread of opinions, ethnicities, political beliefs, religious views, etc. within the community. But despite that, this community consistently shows support and love to one another, and I love seeing it. We see posts pretty often from users who talk about feeling hopeless or lost or in need of support. And seriously, every time that I see a post like that, it's followed by a ton of helpful and supportive comments. I mean, we may all just be individual investors with our own opinions and our own lives, but in a way, I really think that that showcases that in a way we're a family, and we should look out for each other. And I see users every day that are the embodiment of that philosophy, we'll say.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. That's powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Fairy Hammer asked I keep saying Hammer. It's Harmer. Fairy Harmer asked a
Armor, yeah.
question on there, and I don't know if you want to answer that or not, but that's. I know that can be,
I'll
uh,
comment on it.
okay, yeah, go ahead, shoot.
So, Fairy Harmer said, you're talking about the bottom one.
Yeah,
Speaking of stopping the manipulation, do you guys agree with Computershare?
yeah.
That is also, first and foremost, that is an individual investor decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Mm,
I think anyone telling you that you need to do that is in the wrong there. Um, I I think what you ought to do with all the computer share stuff is just read as much as you can about it because it might be the right personal investment decision for you and it might not be. You might opt to transfer your shares there, buy shares there, or do nothing at all with it. And I mean, same thing with the whether you're in GME or AMC. I think it's just a personal decision, and I don't think anybody can knock you for choosing to do anything with Computershare or not. That's like I'm saying, that's your decision.
yeah,
So I won't give my opinion on it. We'll just leave it there.
yeah. I like it. Well, thanks for so much about talking about the subreddit AMC Stock. I'm sure lots of other people are going to probably have questions. If you guys want to post any more questions in there, go right ahead. But I'll move on specifically to just AMC and ask you kind of like one last question about AMC is what are some of your best tools that you use to monitor AMC?
Oh yeah, good question. Honestly, it's user reports, and probably direct chats make our job a whole lot easier. Because really, in the end, it's not my community, and it's not in a way it's not Sagan's community or any of us mods. It's the apes community, and when it's clear to us that um, that people dislike a certain kind of content, we discuss as a mod team how we can change things to better represent what the people want. The community often talks about how we, the people, have the real power in the market and the government, right? And so to me, I think it's important that AMC stock carries on that philosophy. So yeah, user reports and direct chats to us help us a lot.
DMs. Okay, noted. Duly noted. Well, I guess the last thing that I want to say, I don't see anybody entering in any questions in here, but the last thing that I want to say is as a quote. I'm kind of starting this new trend where I'm throwing in quotes at the end of the interview, and I found this one last night, and I think it fits perfectly. And it is, "There's no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about," and that's what you guys provide for us, and that's a community. And
And I love that.
without the community, we have no power to make changes. And that was written by, that quote is by Margaret J. Wheatley.
Mm.
So, ready? I want
I
to
love that a
just,
lot, man. Yeah.
thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. I want you to deliver a message, though, to the rest of the team, your team specifically.
Sure.
Thanks for providing and maintaining the community for us.
Hey, we're happy to do it, man. I appreciate this opportunity a lot, and I know the rest of them do as well.
Yeah. Do you have any last thoughts or comments that you'd like to make?
Um, sure, yeah. Maybe just a couple things. I think I can speak for the mod team as a whole and for the community when I say thank you for having me on today. I think clear co- clear communication is incredibly important, and things like this open up dialogue. I think everyone can appreciate. And I'd like to thank everyone in AMC Stock and elsewhere who continue to push for what's right, who continue to dig through the data to find answers, people who create quality DD, provide positive energy in a world where, there isn't always positivity. It's just where we live, and I appreciate that a lot. And to me, that's what the whole movement is built on, is love, support, trying to change things for the better. And I guess I would ask that anyone listening just keeps in mind their long-term goals. It's easy to get hung up on the red days, on the anger and frustration that we share, but no matter how things shake out, I think it's important to really give thought to the fact that we're lucky to be here, man. We're lucky to be alive on this beautiful planet, and I think it's everyone's job to find what life means to them, and I think this community has helped to do that for me, and I hope it's done that for other people. So, in other words, remember that even on the red days or weeks or months or whatever it is, there is still so much that we can still appreciate and focus on about ourselves, the world we live in, and the people we love.
That's
Yeah, of
beautiful, man. That is awesome. I really appreciate you saying that. Just to mention
course.
this real quickly, we closed at $40.04, which is 0.15% up for the day. Uh,
Hmm.
Green Fridays for this entire year means Green Mondays, 100% of the time. So I'm looking forward to next week, and I couldn't think of a better way to sign off this week with this time that I got to spend with you. One last question. It's my mom. I got to ask it because she's asking.
Yeah.
She said, "Thank you for spending time with us. Reddy, did the art contest for the banner do well? Please tell us about it." She wants to know how about that art contest.
Oh man, dude, I have loved watching that. I'm going into our mod page right now for the art contest so I can look at it. Some of it is so cool. Some of it is so incredible, and it has meant the world to us to see the community take their own volunteer their own time and make this art that means a lot to them. Um yeah, it's just been it's been an awesome experience to see what people create.
Thanks, man. Again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for our community that you guys provide for us. Make sure you deliver that back to the rest of the crew. And
Absolutely, I will.
again, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And Apes Together Strong, man.
Hey, happy Gorilla Day.
Happy.
Today's Gorilla Day, if you didn't know.
No, I did know, and I completely forgot to mention it. You're so right. It's actually my sister's birthday today too. So, but yeah,
Oh, fantastic. Well, tell her happy birthday for me.
yeah, I might go call her an ape and watch her cringe. All right, man. Take
Perfect.
care,
Perfect.
and you have a great
Hey, you
weekend.
too.
Eat, drink, stay
You too.
healthy,
Thank
spend
you so
time with
much.
your family, and you know, don't have a good day. Have a great day.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. It's